Good evening. Making the headlines on Mello TV Evening News at 8. Major firearm seizure by customs in Montego Bay warehouse. One of Clarendon's most wanted surrenders to police. SSL founders' injunction lifted by Supreme Court. Guns and ammunition seized in Oakland St. Andrew. And now the details. 4 handguns along with 7 magazines and 900 rounds of ammunition were seized by personnel from the Jamaica Customs Agency during a routine operation at a warehouse in Montego Bay, St. James. Now the illegal items were discovered in an import shipment. This marks the 3rd significant gun seizure by customs this year. The government recently praised the agency for its efforts to combat the inflow of weapons from transnational criminal organizations. In other news tonight, Jamaica is launching a public education program to promote proper waste management and disposal. Minister without portfolio with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, says the program aims to change behaviors related to waste management and disposal by utilizing traditional and non-traditional media and also by engaging schools and communities through collaborations with various entities. The public education aspect of the program is expected to begin in the summer of this year. In a Mello TV News follow-up, Jabulani Dyer, one of the 5 most wanted men in Clarendon, has surrendered to the Freeport Police in Montego Bay, St. James. Dyer, also known as Jabu, was wanted for wounding with intent and is from Woodhall District in Chapelton. 4 other individuals named on the most wanted list earlier this week are still being sought by authorities. And as we continue to bring you updates regarding the reported fraud at SSL, the Supreme Court has lifted an injunction against former SSL Director Hugh Croskery, who challenged the regulator's order to block SSL's assets after it reported a multi-billion-dollar fraud. The court also ordered the FSC to pay Croskery's legal fees. However, the decision regarding the other defendants in the case, including SSL, is not immediately clear. SSL was declared insolvent last month by the FSC, with only former SSL wealth advisor Jean Ann Panton charged in the alleged $3 billion fraud. Continuing with the news tonight, Education Minister Favour Williams is urging teachers to make technology-based education a permanent fixture in schools. She highlighted that the government has invested in devices for students and has equipped half of the nation's schools with broadband connectivity. Minister Williams emphasized the importance of continued professional development to keep teachers up to date. Still making the news tonight, Jamaicans may soon vote on whether to cut ties with the British monarchy and become a republic. Dr. Nadine Spence, a member of the Constitutional Reform Committee, believes that many Jamaicans don't realize the significance of this upcoming vote, which is an ultimate participation in democracy. Now, the committee is overseeing the constitutional reform process, and Prime Minister Andrew Holness has decided to see it through to a referendum. This marks a turning point for Jamaica, since Jamaica's 1961 referendum left governments hesitant to hold such polls. Reporting on crime, 2 men were arrested in the Oakland community in the St. Andrew South Division after a police raid that resulted in the seizure of 2 Taurus 9mm pistols and 20 rounds of ammunition from a bedroom. Suspects matching the description of the men seen running from the building were arrested on suspicion of possessing prohibited weapons. Another seizure in the same division earlier this week found a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol and 2 magazines with 17 rounds of ammunition. And in breaking news, coming into our news center tonight, gunmen earlier today opened fire at a bus. The violent incident reportedly occurred on Spanish Town Road in the Seaview Gardens area. Several passengers were reportedly injured as a result. Senior Superintendent of Police Stephanie Lindsay provides the details.
So the police are currently investigating a shooting incident which happened sometime about 2:45 today. What we know that based on what was reported, that persons were in the vicinity of the bus stop along Spanish Town Road, where there seemed to be a conflict between at least two men. A bus came and one of the men tried to get onto the bus and shots were fired at him. At the end of the shooting, at least 6 persons, we understand, received injuries. Those persons were taken to hospital where they are currently being treated. And the investigators are now following a couple of lines of inquiries. We know that based on discussion with the commanding officer, they are carrying out some operations with the view of apprehending a person who they believe could assist them in the investigation at this very early stage. So that's not much is known just yet, but that's what we can confirm at this time.
A total of 6 passengers were injured, but there are no reported fatalities. SSP Lindsay shared that they're being treated at the hospital and more details will follow.
We don't have any detail just yet of the injured persons. We have a team of persons at the hospital. They are now trying to get some more information and to get the identity of the individuals that were injured in the incident. So that information we will get in a little while. Based on what the feedback, information we got, at least one of the injured person is a child. Right now the priority is really to get those persons treated, so they are not able to get much information from the victims. So as they go through now, they're trying now to ascertain if the targeted individual is among the persons shot and injured. We don't know for sure yet.
Still making Mello TV news, during a bail hearing yesterday, Oshara Moses, one of 2 Guyanese women charged with cocaine possession at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, confessed to the possession of contraband. However, her cousin Abiki Moses denied any knowledge of the drugs. Both were remanded following their second court appearance. The cocaine was found in false compartments in their luggage during a security probe. The estimated street value of the drug is $120 million. Both women have been charged with possession of, dealing, taking steps to export, and conspiring to export cocaine. UNDP officials Linda McGuire and Denise E. Antonio, along with the JCF, visited the Domestic Violence Intervention Center DVIC today at the 100-man police station in Portmore. The DVIC is part of a program initiated by the Jamaica Constabulary Force to support victims of domestic violence. DSP Jacqueline Dillon, head of the DVIC National Program and Centers, explains their significance.
Cases that are reported that are at the level of, if we had not intervened, you'd have had a murder. If we had not intervened, you'd have had a serious injury. And we have had a number of these cases. And they are not limited to the lower strata of society. We have it all the way to the top. And so the DVI Care Center really came at a time when not only the JCF needed to have that facility, but when at a time where Jamaica needs to have a facility where they can go for help and is confident that when they go, the help is given. That is what the DVI Care Centers have been able to do.
DSP Dillon also provided a breakdown of visitors to the centers and how they have been a place of refuge for men.
We have had steady increases in the numbers of reports to the police as well as reports to the DVI Care Centers. I think for this year, last year, 2022, we have close to 2,000 cases. A year it was 1,000 and something. So there are steady increases in the numbers coming to the DVI Care Center. But what is also to note is that we have had over 2,000 men reporting domestic violence to the DVI care centers. Not that they just need to talk, some of them just need to talk, some of them we are at a stage where we are breaking and we need the help. So it's good. It's good because if we are talking about men being the greatest perpetrator of domestic violence, we must have a facility where men can go and talk, and the DVI care centers provide that for them.
With support from the European Union-funded Spotlight Initiative, 6 additional DVICs have been established, increasing the total to 10 island-wide. This initiative is part of a global effort to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls, as well as investing in gender equality and women's empowerment. Persons seeking assistance can call 876-224-4274 to be directed to the nearest DVIC. And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelley Hill. Do stay safe, pleasant viewing, and thanks for watching.